Hello everyone, and welcome back to Network 27. I'm Alderman Walter Burnett, Alderman of the 27th Ward. As all of you know, Network 27 shows twice a month, every second and fourth Monday at 9 p.m. on CAN TV. In most areas, that's on Channel 21. We'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Just want to tell you about our Stay in School Picnic that's coming this month. As you all know, we have our Stay in School Picnic at Union Park over on Lake and Ashland. We try and bus everyone in that lives in the ward. If you need a bus and you want to find out about transportation, the picnic is going to be on the 27th of August, which is on a Saturday. You can call our office at 432-1995 and we can let you know where the bus will be picking people up in your area. Of course, if you're going to send your children and you're going to put them on the bus, we're not responsible for them. So you need someone to watch them if you're going to put them on the bus. Okay, and we will definitely have the bus coming back. The bus driver will let people know when and where they're going to pick people up to come back, so folks need to be able to pay attention. As you know, we feed over 5,000 people. We give out school supplies to all the young people, and we try and give out some scholarships. We'd like to thank everyone who helps to contribute at the picnic. We have a myriad of volunteers, and if anyone is interested in volunteering and or donating to the picnic, we do it in coordination with a non-for-profit called Chicago Neighbors United. You can call our office and find out about that. We can give you more information. So we look forward to seeing you. As you know, we also have entertainment. We have a seniors tent for the seniors. The seniors are the only ones who don't have to stand in line. We have people to serve the seniors, but we have everyone else, they have to stand in line. And we separate the seniors from everyone else, and they have their own band, their own entertainment, separate from the different things that the young people are going to be doing. So we look forward to seeing you on August the 27th at Union Park. I'd like to thank everyone who helped me to put this show together. Ladies and gentlemen, you all may want to stay tuned. This is a show today about an organization that saved the lives of animals, in particular cats. And you may have been hearing a lot of things about this organization. They've been getting a lot of notoriety because of the rodent problem in the city of Chicago. So I've seen them on several television stations. Matter of fact, on WTTW, I think Channel 7 did something on them, and many other television programs are talking about this organization's and the feral cats that they utilize to help rid people of rodents, but at the same time, it helps to save those cats from being killed. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Carrie Burns. Carrie is the executive director of the Treehouse organization, and I want to thank you very much for coming on, Carrie. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience and tell them a little bit about yourself?
Sure, thank you so much for having me here. And the picnic sounds great, and I'm so glad that everybody's going to get together in the community for all ages, so I might have to show up there too.
Yeah,
find
you
out what's
can
going
actually, if you want, you can have a table there.
Okay, there we go, bring some
information
cats.
out. That's right.
Okay, there we go. Again, thank you. You know, I want to talk about Treehouse today, and I want to talk about the importance of animals in our lives, and especially the cats in our community in Chicagoland. We have some very unique programs. A little bit of history about Treehouse is we've been around since 1971. I'm actually older than that, but Treehouse has been around since 1971. And they started as a very small nonprofit. And so we don't receive any funding from the government or the city. It's all because the community cares.
So Treehouse, so I know that there's a foundation, a philanthropist organization called Treehouse. This is not the same one.
This is not the same one.
Right. So you're not the rich,
we're not the big money group, no.
You're the poor organization that's begging for money.
Exactly.
Right? Okay,
we're always begging for money. Yes. The cats are begging for money. Let me just put it that way. Yeah, no, we're not related to that organization at all. We are completely separate.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay, please do.
When folks used to talk about the Treehouse Foundation, I've been to several events where Mr. Treehouse been there and he donated to things. I always identify him with this organization.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why. I always like, yeah, that's that nice guy who take care of cats too, and he gives money to people. But
Well, I'm going to call him after the show, just so you know, to see if he'll help us out. So, no,
Okay.
it's the beautiful people in the community that give us donations.
Okay.
We're just like all the other nonprofits. It seems like we're always asking for money. But our money is for our beautiful cats that we have in our facility each and every day, and the programs that we offer back to the community. So, Treehouse, we are the first cageless humane society in the United States.
cageless.
Cageless. So if you normally walk into a shelter, you know, people think, oh, if I go into a shelter, I'm going to cry, I'm going to take them all home, because they're all in cages. We don't have cages.
Cageless.
Cageless.
Okay.
Yes. So cageless humane society. Now, of course, we have cages once in a while because cats like to get away, just like me. Sometimes I like to get away from people. You know, I'll go sit in a different room. So, but we were the first cageless humane society in the United States, which made Treehouse stand above the rest of the organizations. And it's right here in Chicago, and most people don't even know that we're here. Right now, we're in this small house. We have one place in Uptown and one in Bucktown. And so we take in cats that are the stray, injured, you know, cats that most of the community doesn't want to deal with. Most of the cats that we see are the cats that normally would have been trapped and euthanized. They would have been killed, basically. And so we've created programs to be able to give these cats a place to live and actually give them a job. Like we had mentioned before when we were talking with our Cats at Work program. We've actually just had CNN do a piece on us also. Our Cats at Work are actually helping with the rodent population, to reduce the rodent population here in Chicago, because there's such a huge issue there. So it gives them a job, but it's not like we're just releasing the cats out to an area where there's rats. These cats are getting cared for by a caretaker. They have a place to live, they're getting fed, they're getting spayed and neutered, they're getting all their vaccinations. They're spoiled, basically is what they are. So we have programs like that, and then we have the cats that come into our facility that are available for adoption. You know, a lot of people will go out and they'll look on Craigslist or something and they want to buy a cute little kitten. And we have so many wonderful cats and kittens waiting for their permanent home to be adopted that we encourage people to go to their local humane society, whether it's us or any local humane society, and please take an animal home from there. You know, it's amazing because we're still euthanizing 3 to 4 million animals in the United States every year because they don't have a home.
3 to 4 million.
3 to 4 million.
Oh, that's terrible.
So that's called job security for us in this field, that work hard every day to save the lives, especially of the cats and the dogs in our communities. And at Treehouse, again, we set ourselves apart because we're unique in what we do. We also do a lot of education. It's important because someday the kids are going to be the aldermen. You know, the kids are going to have my job. And so we have to teach our youth, what do animals mean in our lives? You know, how can they help us? People don't realize, and there's research done, that just petting a dog or a cat can help to reduce your lower your blood pressure, reduce your stress. You know, so they're wonderful, and they give us so much. I mean, how many times do you just want to say something and not have anybody say anything back to you? You know, just listen. Well, the cats are the best thing in the world for that. You know, and so are the dogs. They just listen to you. So next time you're thinking of adding an animal into your family, you know, I encourage you to adopt and visit Treehouse for what we have. But we have gotten to the point that there are so many animals that are just left out there, left to die, and that need a home and deserve a home. And right now we're in a small old house. And so we have decided that in order to really help the cats in this community and help the community, we need to grow our space. So in 2015, we helped about 14,000 cats and some dogs in the community through our behavior hotlines, through our adoption programs, through all different types of things that we offer. We also helped about 50,000 people in the community by helping them to get through their issues with their cats, or to just ask general medical questions. So we offer a lot of programs to help the community so they can keep their animals in their home, or if they can't, where do they go? So what we want to do by moving into our new facility is be able to double the amount of animals that we can serve and double the amount of the people in the community that we can also serve. Because we are here, you know, we're special because we have special little critters that can't speak for themselves. And we want to make sure that we find that perfect home. There's always someone out there who would love to have a new cat in their home, whether it's a kid or a senior. We've got them for all ages, all types of homes. We've got great counselors, great staff that can say, what type of animal do you want and need? What fits best for your family? and can we do to make sure that you'll keep that animal in the home for the rest of your life and the rest of their life? Because animals shouldn't be in shelters. Kids shouldn't be in shelters. So we need to find them homes.
So tell me, so I know there are some organizations that deal with dogs that just help people get them neutered, right? I forget the one that does it for dogs, and I think they do it like at a discounted rate because they're trying to prevent people from adding on to the population of dogs and not taking care of them, right? Are you all similar to that?
Yes, we have it's a low-cost spay-neuter program.
Spay-neuter program.
And we actually are looking to revamp our program up at Bucktown. And with the new facility here, what we're looking to do is we're going to have a public spay and neuter clinic where you can bring in both dogs and cats to be spayed or neutered, which actually there's a lot of health benefits to having your animals spayed and neutered. Did you know that if you have one pair of breeding cats and with their kittens, in a 7-year time span, they can produce 420,000
Are you
kittens.
kidding me?
420,000 in 7 years. That's one breeding pair of cats and their kittens.
Wow.
And one breeding pair of cats can actually have between 1 and 8 kittens typically in a litter. So take those numbers and just blow it up. You know, and kids, if you have your calculators, just figure that one out. But it's a lot. And so when we spay and neuter, that keeps them from breeding. Because again, that keeps us from having to, not us, but it keeps everybody from having to euthanize 3 to 4 million animals a year. And the same with the dogs when they start breeding also, because they can have multiple, seasons that they're breeding. And it just keeps growing and growing. So we have to be able to get a hold on that and make sure that we're not euthanizing, make sure every animal has a home. And in the meantime, we're kind of their in-between being a shelter. They can come here, get the medical care that they need, get spayed and neutered, they get their vaccinations before they go into a home. So they're already ready to go. You don't have to take them to another veterinarian for their spaying and neutering and their initial vaccinations. Now, after you adopt, we want you to have a relationship, though, with your local veterinarian, because that's extremely important. It's all about community, and we all have to find a way to work together in our professions that we do. So, we can make this happen, and we can save so many more lives. But our new building is going to be fabulous because our cats have not only a huge room that they can just run around and play in, they also have a catio. And our catio is an outdoor patio for cats. Outdoor patio. So, I know I don't even have a patio where I live, so I'm gonna come live here, with the cats. Our cats will have heated floors.
Wow.
Cats love to have that, they love to have the heating pads, they love to feel, comfortable and cozy. So we actually have designed this building that the floors are heated to about 70 degrees, which also reduces our overhead costs of heating, because we want to make sure that our money that our donors give us goes back to caring for the cats. At the end of the day, when I look into those 2 little eyes and the little ear and the little tail, just swishing back and forth, I just want to go, you know what? This community has helped you. They've helped to save your life today. And I can go home and feel good. So everything that we do, we're designing this new building is going to keep the cats healthier and happier, because when they're less stressed, just like humans, you're going to feel better for a lot longer. And that's what we want to make sure we do in designing this place. We want people to feel welcomed when they come here. They come in to our reception area and it's open, and people can say, well, how can I help you? What do you need? Do you just want to buy a toy for your cat? Come on, let me show you. Do you want to adopt a cat? Let me show you. Do you want to adopt 2 cats? Okay, we'll talk about it. So whatever you need, our reception area can help you out. The other unique thing that we have is you can actually come in, and we're going to have the first cat cafe in the Midwest. Do you want to have your next coffee at Starbucks, or do you want to come in here and have a cup of coffee, sit with some cats?
That's cool.
And because you got that cup of coffee, guess what your money's helping? The cats that are upstairs, or the cats in the community that need your help. So it's a win-win. There's nothing that you can do wrong with having a good cup of coffee and petting a cat. So it's going to be very unique in that fashion too. You can go upstairs then and see all of our 9 cat rooms with the catios. You can go in and interact with the cats. And it's a
catio.
The catio, that's the patio. Remember we were going to go sit on the catio patio. It's a little twist on that.
That's right.
So if there's a human patio, I guess we would call that a hatio, but we'll leave that one. But we want people to feel that shelters are an okay place to go to. We want to educate. We have an education room, so we want to bring the kids here. We want to bring the adults here and let them know what animals mean in our lives and the human-animal bond. We want volunteers to have a beautiful place to come and work and train. We cannot do our work without our staff and without our volunteers. Every nonprofit, it's all about the volunteers. They come in there for their heart and their soul. And when our volunteers come in here, they leave happy because they're in there looking at these little eyes, just staring back going, thank you for coming in and petting me. Thank you for feeding me. And it's everybody working together that makes that, at the end of the day, makes that family happy, because we've cared for the cat from being on the street, getting into medical care, being cared for, being put into the shelter, and then we get to see it go into its permanent home. And there is nothing better at the end of the day, knowing that you've been part of that entire process.
So a couple of things happen here. One, you use the cat work program.
Mm-hmm.
Two, if someone didn't want to keep their cat for whatever reason, or had to get rid of their cat, you all take them and try to readopt them out.
We usually work with the feral cats that are out there, or the cats that are injured or sick or stray.
Oh, okay.
If someone just wants to come in, and we also work with other, like Chicago Animal Care Control. We work with other rescue groups. We would encourage them, if to go to Animal Care and Control, or to go to any other of the rescue groups. There's Feline Friends. There's all types of groups out there that will help.
So the domestic cats, you don't do too many domestic cats.
Correct. But if a cat is going to be euthanized for some reason, we will work with that group to help pull that cat out of there to get them adopted. So it's a community working together. So whether it's Animal Care and Control, whether it's a foster home, which foster homes are fabulous, because foster homes mean that the animal doesn't have to go into a shelter. They can go into a home and be cared for, and we'll help with the medical expenses for our foster parents. And then from the foster home, sometimes they can go straight into the permanent home. So we have a couple of options in this community that we work together in finding the perfect placement, the perfect in-between time, which shelter do they go to before they're adopted. But working together and letting the community know. If you think about it, too many people go out and buy their animals. And again, there's too many waiting in shelters that need a home, that want to be loved. So that's why, getting the message out there that we have some beautiful cats waiting for a home, and
so
they need to come
adopt yours out.
Absolutely.
People can get yours.
Absolutely.
But even though, so I'm trying to understand, because I know that there's a difference between domestic cats and feral cats, right?
Correct.
So you adopt out the feral cats?
We don't adopt out the feral cats. Sorry,
okay.
let me clarify that.
But how do you get so you say you get cats that you prevent from being euthanized?
Correct.
Are some of those domestic cats?
There are. So
Okay.
there's kind of three different phases.
Okay.
There's your friendlies, which are your really happy cats that are like, hey, I love everybody. You got the hair all over you. Then there's your unsocialized, which means they've probably been in a home and around people. They're just not comfortable. And then there's your feral. Now your feral you're typically not going to see. They come out at night. They like to just hide all the time. The feral cats are the ones that we actually work with that will trap, neuter, and either return to their colony because they help keep the rat population down, or we'll put them in our Cats at Work program, or some of the unsocialized cats can go to the Cat at Work program because they kind of like humans, but they kind of don't. So we don't keep them in our facility.
You don't keep them here. Okay.
But a lot of the strays are cats that have just been dumped. Side of the road, a cat's been dumped, a kitten's been dumped, and it's just, its mother's nowhere to be found. So those are the strays we take in.
So those are the strays you take in, but how do you get the friendlies? Where do the friendlies come? Where do the friendlies come from?
So a lot of times,
if people don't bring them here.
Yeah, a lot of times if we go out to a feral colony, or someone says there's a whole bunch of cats running around our neighborhood, right, and they think they're all feral, we'll send our staff out there or volunteers that will trap them. And some of those cats, some may be feral, but some are friendly. Again, they're just the cats that have been dumped into a community. And so those are the ones that we'll take, because those are the ones that are typically used to being inside a home. And if you've been used to being inside a home your entire life and someone just dumps you in the street, even animals are not going to survive because they don't have those skills. It's not always an innate thing that they have.
And so those are the ones that you adopt out.
Correct.
Okay.
It's great when I have our meetings at our shelter, and there's nothing like you're sitting there and you're in a meeting, and next thing you know, you've got two cats up right on your, you're trying to write something and the cats are right in your lap and they're helping you out and you're like, okay, hold on, I've got to get around, the cat to write something. But we have some of the friendliest cats in the world, and once they understand what it's like to really be loved and to be held and to be brushed and to be fed and know that they're safe, there's nothing better.
So what's the procedure on to be able to adopt the cats?
Well, for you, I'm just kidding. No, for anyone that comes in, we have some great counselors. And so they're going to ask you questions. What is your house like? We want cats to stay indoors. Cats should not be outdoors. There's too many diseases and too many issues that can go on if they're just left outdoors on their own without being vaccinated, without being spayed and neutered. So indoor cats need to stay indoors, okay? So we would ask you a series of questions. Do you rent your place? Do you own your place? Do you have more cats in your home? Because if you tell me that you have 15 cats, I'm going to question you as to why you want another cat. That's probably not the right environment that we want to go into. So our counselors will then take you around to the different cats, knowing their personality, and say, if you just want somebody who's just going to hang out with you, you might want, Fluffy. As opposed to a little kitten who's going to be climbing and going all over the place. So we can help to guide you for your right family member.
And then the procedures for the feral cats. What's this procedure for that?
So a lot of times we get phone calls that come in. There's a bunch of cats running around and we've got to get rid of them. So they can call in, and we have people, a lot of volunteers who will go out, they're trappers is what they're called. And they'll go and set up a trap. And so we can capture that feral cat, and we can bring it in, it gets spayed and neutered, and it gets its vaccinations, and then it goes back to its colony as long as we know there's a colony caretaker. Because think about it, there's a lot of people out there who somebody feeds the cats. That's why they stick around. But we talk to the colony caretaker, or we talk to someone in the community and make sure that those cats are still fed, they have water. If they're injured or anything, they need to contact us so we can go back out and retrap them to bring them in and make sure they're medically okay. So it's a community working together and communicating. If you tell us what you need and it's about a cat, if we can't provide that resource, we can probably direct you to the right place who can help you. So we just want to make sure that our organization, if we can't take a cat directly, we can at least guide you to the right program or the right place in this community.
So the procedures for folks being able to get feral cats would be they come here, you all go to them, see where they are, you show them how, I know I saw some of this on television, you show them how to take care of the cats, but leave them outside.
Correct.
Right.
Because those are the feral cats, or the unsocialized. They don't want to be inside. That's their life that they've been all the time. That would be like me forcing you to do something you don't want to do. It's not your natural environment, and you would be stressed out if I put you somewhere that you weren't used to. So that's why we return them to their place that they're comfortable. And feral cats don't live as long as your domestic cats.
Why not?
Only because of the outside environments, the outside factors. You've got the cold weather, so they have to be cared for. That's why we have to have a colony caretaker to make sure that they have little housing places they can go into if they choose to. But there's a lot of different factors that are out there. If there's other predators that can actually get the cats too.
Like what, coyotes or?
Coyotes, or if there's hawk, other larger animals that will come
What
and
about
feed on them.
raccoons? They don't
Probably if
do
they
that?
came in and got hungry enough, yeah.
Okay.
But typically raccoons aren't going to be feeding
They're
on the
not
feral
gonna
cats.
bother
No,
the
they're going to
cat.
be more your vegetarian types of little critters.
Is that right? Yeah, they sure tear up a house though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like-
Because there's food. They're looking for salad. And I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
Yeah, but we're so excited because we couldn't have made this leap from our old building to our new building without people really saying, you know what, y'all have a
Contributing to
great
it.
program. And again, these are our donors that are giving us this opportunity to create this new building. And it's going to create an environment that's wonderful for everybody. If you don't like cats, that's all right. Just come in and have some coffee. It's still good, and you're still helping to save a life. And so we have about $2.8 million left to finish up every little detail that we need.
So you have $2.8 million left to raise?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow, okay.
Yeah. But the community stepped up so far. We've already raised about 75% of the money.
That's great.
So I know, and thank you to everyone in Chicago and then surrounding areas that have helped us out with that. So, it's amazing who comes to the table when you say, these little guys need your help. we need your help.
So I was reading your background, and I see that you worked at many different shelters around the country, even outside. You've been in Canada and other places like that. And I saw in one part of your bio where it was talking about you dealing with rescue. You was rescuing cats from was it from Katrina? Or so tell us a little bit about that, and do the Treehouse deal with any of those type of rescues?
You know, this is what's great about the animal community is that in times of disaster, just like any community with humans, people want to step up and know, how can I help? And a lot of people feel helpless. I have worked in animal disaster response for, over 10 years. I've been in animal welfare for over 20 years. And I've worked in Hurricane Katrina. I've worked with the BP oil spill. Our teams went up for 9/11. So we've done wildfires. Our teams would go in behind the lines of the emergency and actually rescue the animals that were left behind. So when you go in to a disaster and the people have already been told you can't go back to your house, and they're concerned about their dog or their cat, there is nothing better than going in and finding their animal alive in their home and coming out with their animal and watching that little kid's face or that mom and dad's face and go, oh my God, you know, the cat's fine or the dog is fine. And to watch that family bond. They may have lost everything else in their home, but they have their family. And pets are part of the family. And that's what's really cool about disaster work. And when it comes to disasters, especially in Katrina, shelters from all over the United States stepped up and said, for the animals that can't find their home again, how can we help you to readopt those animals? And Chicago was part of that too, that stepped up.
So you get some of those?
Yep, Chicago, there, I mean, all over the United States, shelters stepped up and said, how can we help? We had, in just Katrina alone, we had 10,000 animals in our care.
Wow.
And we had a big fairground area that we kept cats and dogs and birds and rabbits and horses, and I think you name it, we had it there.
Is that right?
So it was amazing. And a majority of the animals actually found their way back to their homes.
That's great.
And the reason is they were microchipped.
Okay.
That is one great way for people. If you have an animal, I would encourage you to microchip. It's easy, it's inexpensive, it's a shot. Go to your local veterinarian, come on into our shelter. But
so you would
it's a way
microchip people's animals here. So you do that for a fee?
That is part of the adoption fee. So we
Okay.
spay
So
and
if
neuter,
they-
we
if they
vaccinate,
adopt.
and we microchip.
But what if they already had an animal, but they couldn't afford to do the microchipping?
So that's why at our Bucktown clinic, right now we're open 1 day a week, and we'll be opening 5 days a week again, so that we can service and provide that low income, the population to give them the low cost, excuse me. So we can provide low cost for those people that can't afford, to pay for all the expenses of microchipping, but it's very inexpensive. Even your local veterinarian, microchipping is pretty inexpensive. And as long as you register the information for your animal of where you live and a phone number, if your cat gets lost, your dog gets lost, and someone picks them up, like our organization, maybe it just comes in and we scan it and we go, hey, this is Alderman Burnett's cat. We've got to get this back to him. So it's an easy way to get back. It's kind of like our driver's license or our ID. Somebody looks at it and goes, oh, this is where you live. Okay, let's take you back home.
Interesting. So you need $2 million more to be able to finish
2.8.
2.8.
I want to look.
So how much was the total cost of this place?
It was about $7 million by the time we're done with everything.
So was that including the land or what?
Yes.
So how much bigger is this than your biggest place?
Oh goodness, this is more than double the size of our little old house that we're working out of right now. That's why we can help, twice as many cats, twice as many people in the community. So it's a win-win for everybody. And we want to get in here sooner than later, because that means we can just do a lot more work.
Fantastic, fantastic. So is there anything else that the Treehouse have going on?
Oh, we have a lot of wonderful things going on. I encourage everybody to go to our website and see what's happening in our world of cats. You can go to www.treehouseanimals.org and see all of our wonderful programs that we have. If you need information on behavior, any type of educational programs that are coming up. We also have our big Black Cat Ball coming up, which is a fun evening.
So a Black Cat Ball.
That's our one big event that we have a year that people can come to and have great food and just interact and find out our wonderful stories that we have to offer.
Do you dance there?
Well, you can dance. I can't.
You can't
but,
dance?
I have 2 left feet. But no, I'll try dancing if everybody shows up, that's for sure. But we have wonderful items to auction off, and all the money from that event goes back into saving the lives of the cat.
Where's the ball?
The Black Cat Ball, all the information for the Black Cat Ball is on the website, so that you can check all that out for the dates, the time, and the place. I'm not going to give it all away because you got to go to the website. It is in October. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. That's good. So that's one of your bigger fundraisers?
It is. It's the biggest fundraiser of the year. Yes.
So tell me this. Let's say there's a building, there's an elderly person who passed away. They have a cat. They don't have family, right? Where do their cat go?
Well, that's an area where they can actually call us too, and we can, if we can't take them, we can refer them.
You can help the building.
Exactly.
Right.
And again, it's about resources that we can offer, and that is the other thing that a lot of people forget. And no matter how old you are, you can always write a will. And always put your animals in the will. Whether it's, you don't have to name your animal. You can say my dog or my dogs or my cat. My cats, if I were to pass away, here's where I would like them to go, or here's what I would like to have happen. And it makes it much easier so that cats don't have to be held, maybe at animal control if the will has to go through probate or something like that. It's just much nicer. We have a lot of our folks who leave bequests, meaning after they die, they want to give us money. Some of those, part of the will is to say, I'll give you money and you please also take care of my cat. And we can talk about those things and work that out with each individual person. But I encourage everyone, if they have an animal, to make sure that they include their animal in their will.
Interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah. It's like your kids, you want to leave your legacy and leave your possessions somewhere that everyone's happy. And again, with pets being part of our family, it's very important.
Yeah. So tell me, the procedure to adopt, like what you said, Fluffy?
Sure.
Right?
I can adopt you, Fluffy.
So how long would that take? How long does that take people? I mean, I know you go through some things with folks. You ask them a lot of questions. What's the average time for that? I know with the feral cats is a little different.
It's a different story because it's not placement. We can do an adoption in about 45 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Someone can walk out here with a cat in 45 minutes?
That's right. You come in, we sit down, we talk about stuff.
That's like, it takes my wife that long just to go to the store.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? Yeah, I know. But yeah, if we can talk to you, ask the right questions, we know all the cats in our building and we can hook you up with the right one.
Hook people, so people can come in and adopt a cat in 45 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it takes longer if you have more questions, but that's the average time. And we want you to go straight home. We don't want you stopping somewhere, so we want you to go home with what you need. A little bit of litter and food and your toys, because that's.
So do you sell all those things here?
We do.
So you sell litter, food, toys.
We have litter available to get them started. We have a bunch of great toys, little things that they can get, and we can talk to you about what this certain cat likes for its behavior. Laser lights are amazing. You can play with the cat all day long with a little laser light. So.
Fantastic. So tell me this. So you have a store here too?
Well, in our new building, we will have a retail area.
You have a retail area.
Currently, we have a little wall. All the profits go back to help our little cats and kittens.
So even if you don't, if you aren't adopting a cat here, you can still come and support this place just by buying stuff for your cats.
Absolutely. You can get some, great T-shirts or get little, sparkly little balls that cats can play with, or again, get a cup of coffee.
What about cat? Do you sell cat food too?
No, we don't sell cat food here.
Okay.
Not at this time.
But you will sell litter?
We'll have litter so people can go home with their litter pans if they want to get, bigger, better stuff later. There's obviously different websites you can go onto which actually give money back and can help support shelters too.
Okay. So with the feral cats, which are the cats that folks tend to try to adopt to be able to help with the rodent problem, what's the timeline on that?
We actually have a waiting list right now.
So you have a waiting list for that?
Of people and of organizations who want the feral cats. So, again, as a nonprofit, this is where we need money just to run our organization so that we can hire more people and get volunteers out there to help us with the trapping to get more cats for the waiting list that we have. So that's a win-win program. We've just
So you use volunteers to help with the trapping?
We do, and we've got
So-
great staff that run
So how
it.
many volunteers do you have?
We have approximately, I think we're at about over 100 active volunteers right now, which
Wow,
is
that's
great.
great.
Yeah. Everybody can give, a few hours here and there. So if you want to volunteer, whether it's just helping out, at an event, or if you want to come in and help out just by petting cats or feeding or working with our Cats at Work program or trapping or TNR, we can probably find a place for you to come in and volunteer with us.
So tell me, where do you, so you have a waiting list, so after the waiting list, so once people come up on the waiting list, right? So you only call them up on the waiting list when you had a CATS form. But there's still, but I know that you go to visit their homes, you see where they're going to keep the cats.
Correct.
Right? And then you recommend a certain type of cage for them.
Correct.
Right? Where they
Certain type of little housing area
a little
that they
housing
can live
area
in.
so they can live in the climate weather.
Correct.
And what have you. And from what I understand, they have to stay in that cage for a month. You keep them in a cage for a long period of time, for a short period of time, but long enough for them to accept that as being their home.
Right. We want the cats to stay in that area, so it's not
Right.
like they're staying, in this horrible little cage.
Right.
It's a little housing area, only so that they can get used to the smells, so that they know where they're being fed, so they know where they're being cared for, because we want them to stay there and get used to that area so the rats stay away, as opposed to leaving and going somewhere else.
And
It's just part of the acclimation process.
yeah, and I was talking to one of your guys, Paul.
Paul, he's awesome.
And he's like a cat cyclopedia.
Yeah, he is. You
right?
can ask Paul anything about cats.
That's right.
He knows it.
He was like, and he was telling me, he was saying that the cat's pheromone, the smell, keeps rats away. The smell of their hair, the smell of their urine. So I was like, you guys should sell cat urine and cat hair.
Right? I know. We should market this, and we would just be able to pay for the $2.8 million that we owe in the building, and we'd be done.
Just sell a unit.
Exactly.
Say, here, use this and spread it around your
I know.
house. Do it like
kidding.
holy water,
Yeah,
right?
and
Spread it
there we
around your
go.
house and
Not
it'll
sure
keep-
how good that would smell long term, but okay, we'll go there. Yeah.
But he was also saying that cats normally, when you put them in an area, that they sort of stay in the area within a certain distance.
Correct.
They make that within a certain radius. They make that their home. What was that? Do you recall the radius? I don't know if it was a mile or
I think it's just a couple miles, usually, typically on
about 2 miles.
with cats. Because everybody has a little territory, just like you have your little office at your territory, and so you'll walk around, but usually they'll stay within a couple mile radius.
So they'll claim a couple of miles to be their home.
Yeah.
And they roam that area
Yep.
and they always come back to where they live to get food. And,
Oh, they know where they're getting fed. That's for
Right,
sure.
but
At the end of the day, that's important to them. So
wow, that's interesting.
they want their food, and they want their little comfort place where they can just be quiet and get away and sleep for a while.
So tell me, do you all track the areas where you have them at? Like, would you like say you have? Because he was telling me that usually you like to put them in threes, right? About 3 cats in the area. So would you have 3 cats here, and you say, okay, 2 miles away, we need 3 cats over there, or we don't need 3 cats here because we got 3 cats there in this area already.
Yeah, that's where Paul the expert comes in.
Okay.
He knows how many we need in what area, and it depends on how bad the area is.
Right.
How bad it's infested, and how long the cats are how many cats are needed per number of rats, kind of thing. Or what's the area like? Is there a lot of traffic? So they go out and they do the assessments. And they're really good at figuring out how many cats, within an area will help to really detour the rodent population. So that's where I rely on my experts. I can sit here as interim executive director all day long, but without my staff and my volunteers, they're the knowledgeable ones. They have all the answers for everything. So I appreciate them.
So Carrie, how many folks do you have working here?
We have just about 50 staff.
50 staff.
And we have 2 locations. So it's everybody's. Again, we can't do it without our volunteers.
And what's your hours?
We're open 7 days a week.
7 days
7
a week?
days a week.
Even on Sundays?
Even on Sundays.
Wow.
These cats don't get a break. I'm just kidding. Staff doesn't get a break. And so for the public, we're open from 12 to 7 during the week, and then on the weekends we have shorter hours. So, because the cats need quiet time too, and the staff needs a break.
That's great. 7 days a week.
Yep.
That's dedication.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Well, we're not like we're a unique nonprofit because we have lives to care for. So we can't not have staff go in or not have volunteers go in because they still need to be fed, watered, their litter boxes cleaned, and just to be petted every single day. So we don't get a day off.
So do you have doctors on staff?
We do.
Veterinarians on
We have a
staff?
full-time veterinarian right now, and she's absolutely fabulous. And we work with other vet students to also teach them on shelter medicine, which is a great growing field. And then we have also our vet staff, our vet techs and assistants that also help care for the cats, for the medical needs.
So this is high level.
This is high level.
High level care for the cats.
Correct.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We just don't do emergency care. So if someone is hit by a car and needs emergency care right away, we are not equipped to take that animal in. So we would refer them to an emergency veterinarian. So again, our veterinarians in the community, it's important to support local business. So we want to make sure that we work hand in hand with everybody.
Yeah, and it's funny, before the show we was just talking to Paul, and I think it was Paul, and he was saying something about, he was saying I forget what town or country, in Italy. He was saying in Italy.
In Italy.
In Italy, they spaded and neutered all their cats. And so they ended up losing their cat population. And now they're infested with more rats. And now they're looking at how to increase their cat population.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's part of life and the cycle of life, and you have to, that's why, here in the U.S., it's going to be way beyond my lifetime, before they run out of cats to put in there. But yeah, I believe it was in Italy where they spayed and neutered all the cats and they removed them out of the city, so there was nothing left in there. Well, that's why we put the cats back into the population where they belong after they're spayed and neutered. And we have plenty of cats. Like I said before, take that number of 420,000 kittens within 7 years.
From one cat, from two cats.
From two breeding cats and their kittens. So we have a lot of work to do. So we are not going to be like Italy anytime soon, that's for sure. Yeah.
That's great. Well, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what else do you, so what are you doing to raise the $2.8 million?
We're begging. No, we're asking our community to step up and help. We have, in our cat room, for example, people want to give for all types of reasons. And we have one of our cat rooms, and it's going to be named after Buddy. And Buddy was a cat that these people adopted, an older cat, and Buddy didn't live very long, but Buddy's favorite thing was to go wait for them at this really low window in their house. So he would sit in this really low window and wait for them to get home. And when they came in the door, they said their heart was just so filled with joy because Buddy would be waiting for them. And so one of the cat rooms, the adoption cat rooms that we have, is Buddy's room, because it's the room with the lowest window. And so these people, that is what their naming opportunity and their legacy is for Buddy.
They donated for
Yes,
Buddy.
and they donated to do that. Another woman, a wonderful woman, a volunteer of ours, lost her daughter. And her daughter used to volunteer for us and loved being with the cats. And so her legacy is leaving a beautiful bench that will sit between the two adoption rooms. So her spirit will always be there looking over the cats. So however, in whatever memory or just whatever joy people want to leave a gift to help us to raise our $2.8 million, every little bit helps. And we have naming opportunities that are still available. So again, you can go onto our website, or if you have specific questions, you can email Bob. He's our go-to guy for answering a lot of the questions, or myself with our naming opportunities. But it's bob@treehouseanimals.org. So we have a lot of ways that people can give gifts, even if it's over a multi-year, different bequests. There's all different types of ways to, at the end of the day, you've saved a life. And that you've just left part of your gift and your legacy. So it's a wonderful thing to do.
That's great. That's great. So the feral cats have a waiting list. So the cats that are up for adoption, is there a waiting list for them? Or you need more people to adopt?
Oh, we always need more people to adopt.
Okay, so those cats are different.
Yeah, everybody's, that's why shelters are here.
It's sort of ironic that the wildcats have a waiting list.
Right? Yeah. Everybody wants those, but we don't have enough houses to adopt the friendly cats. It's a little backwards.
It is backwards, right? Yeah, it's because people want to get rid of rats.
Exactly, right?
The rats are a motivator.
And no kidding. Yeah, currently.
But the thing is, domestic cats, even though they're not feral cats, they help to keep mice and rats out of your house.
They do, exactly. It's a great point.
Right.
So why not?
Why not have them in the house, right?
We currently have 75 cats waiting for adoption in our building.
Is that right?
We have about 60-some in foster care waiting to come into the building to be adopted.
So what is foster care?
Foster care, we love our foster parents. So to become a foster parent, if we don't have enough room in our shelter, you can sign up to be a foster parent, just like foster parents with children. So what you would do is you would take this little cat or kitten into your home, and you would help them and socialize them and just give them a loving place to stay until they can actually either come into the shelter to be adopted, or we can adopt them straight out from the foster home into their permanent home.
Now, I would imagine that sometimes you can have challenges with that, with people saying, no, we want to keep them now.
Oh, that's called a foster failure, and we love our foster failures. And actually, I shouldn't call them foster failures. I should call them foster heroes.
Foster heroes.
They're like, no, I'm going to adopt this cat. And it's like, yay, that's another good story.
Well, that's a way to also, if you're thinking about getting a cat or you're not sure about getting a cat,
sure,
that's a way to, like, a trial basis,
right? It is. It's a great way to do it.
So you have trial basis for people.
Yes, yeah. And it's, if you're going to be a foster parent, you come in and you take classes. You learn how to be a foster parent, because it's not like we just take a cat over and go, here you go, good luck. We're there to support you, and you become part of our team. So we need to make sure there's good communication, and it's a good way that, maybe that's how you teach your children also to start out, if you don't want to, because it seems like, kids, they want their animals. And then 2 weeks later, they're bored with it. And then the parents end up taking care of it, and there's a lot of, so there's a lot of thought that needs to go into it. So fostering can create a lot of different positive things in your home environment.
Yeah, and that gives everyone in the house an opportunity to see if they like the cat and all those other things. Or people have allergies or whatever the case may be. So that's pretty good.
Exactly.
That's a good deal. But it's still ironic that you have 75 cats on the waiting list for the feral cats.
I know. We had National Clear the Shelter Day, and we were so hoping that they would all have found their beautiful home. And 16 cats did that day, which is great.
So tell me, there's a national organization that's advertising. They show cats on TV and help the poor cat and donate some money. Are you related to that organization?
No, and that's one of the things. There are some national organizations that are out there, and every humane society, every SPCA, every shelter like ourselves that are nonprofit, we're local. We are right in your backyard. We do not receive the funding from the national organizations. So it's just like any business.
So if
it's like shop local, adopt local.
Donating to that organization, you don't get anything?
No. We get some of their resources, but we do not get direct funding. And like our organization, we don't receive funding from the city or the county or any of the national organizations. The only way that we receive our funding is from our programs, when you come in to adopt, and from our wonderful donors who give us the money to help us to keep these critters alive every single day.
So what you're saying is, if people want to help the cats in Chicago, they should donate to your organization.
Donate to a local organization, whether it's Treehouse, whether it's someone who works with the dogs like the Paws, whether it's anti-cruelty. You should always give locally, and that goes with any business out there too. Shop locally, adopt locally, give locally, because that's where the money should stay in the community to help the community's issues. So people wouldn't know that. Most people don't. I mean, well, it's a misnomer.
But the thing is, I don't see you advertising on television.
We don't have the money to advertise.
That's what I'm saying. How does these organizations have that much money to advertise on television
gives the money.
like that?
All the money's going there, and so they can advertise. Now, don't get me wrong, because what they do advertise, though, is they're telling people there is an issue with animals. There's an overpopulation issue. You need to help with it. But I think the story needs to come back with, you need to help locally. And that's where we need to really, if we had the money to advertise more, we would absolutely do that. So that's why we appreciate you for coming here and allowing us to be on your show so that we can tell the local community who we are and what we do.
Great. So if people wanted to donate to you, what would they do?
Hand me money. There's so many ways they can donate. Come in and visit us. See what we do. Go to our website, at www.treehouseanimals.org. There are plenty of ways that you can donate and help save the life of a cat.
And so that's if they want to donate, and also they can go there if they want to volunteer.
They can.
Okay.
All of our information for all of our programs, everything from volunteering to fostering, what programs that we offer, our education programs, it's all on our website.
And if folks just want to just come in and just kick it with the cats, what would they do? They have to make an appointment to do that, or they can just come in and...
You can come in during the hours that we're open.
And they can just come in and rub cats?
They can. We really want you to adopt them, though. So if you're just going to come in and rub on the cats, we would probably want you as a volunteer.
Yeah, but you were saying that you're going to have a coffee shop.
On our cat cafe, yes.
At your cat cafe.
Yes. That way people can just come in and kick it, like you said, and just pet the cats.
And get some coffee and rub the cats.
Get a cup of coffee. That cup of coffee is going to help save the life of an animal in the shelter. Pet the cats and go have a happy day.
So if you don't want a cat at home, you can have a home away from home with the cats.
Absolutely.
Right here at the Treehouse.
Right here at the Treehouse. Okay. You can have your cat away from home. Absolutely.
Okay.
You can even sponsor a cat. If you don't want to have a cat, we have a program where you can just sponsor a cat.
How do you
we'll
sponsor
send you
a cat?
update. So I know you've seen before where you can sponsor a child.
Yeah.
Well, you can sponsor a cat too.
Are you kidding me?
And we'll send you updates.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And for you, you should sponsor 10.
I should sponsor.
Not just one, 10.
All right, let me hurry up, cut the show. Before she trying to put me on something else. Fantastic.
That's just, there's so many ways to be able to help. So it's not just one way.
All right. Well, Carrie, thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Burnett, thank you.
The Treehouse is very blessed. I pray that you all are able to raise that $2.8 million so that you can finish up this beautiful place that's going to be for everyone in the city of Chicago. And I look forward to seeing if I can get up this way to go to your coffee shop and kick it with the cats.
Please do.
Yeah, so thank you very much. So again, one more time, if people want to contact you guys,
visit our website at www.treehouseanimals.org. And thank you very much for what you do, not just for our organization, but for all the other nonprofits in the community. And thank you to the community for everything that you do for the animals and the people.
Fantastic. Well, since we're saying thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching Network 27. I'm Alderman Walter Burnett. I'd like to thank my guest, Carrie Burns from the Treehouse organization. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need a companion, if you need some help with your rodents, this is the place to go. If you just need somewhere to go and kick it with the cats at, come to the Treehouse organization. Or if you want to volunteer and help these creatures of God's that's in our community that may need some help, just call that organization. So thank you very much for watching Network 27. See you next month. God bless you. Thank you. Goodbye.